Good morning. Thank you for attending the Business Consortium Hot Sheet Live, our special edition, Where is the Money? This is, believe it or not, part 12. We have done 12 of these webinars, and our mission and our hope is to impart information that will help your businesses grow. Today's topic, as all of them is especially very important. It is how the veteran business community can find opportunities during this pandemic. Important topic for some important people. We're going to get started in just one moment, but if you've joined us before, you know what I'm about to say. Make sure you know where all the important places are. This is going to be an inspiring-filled, data-filled hour. You don't want to miss a thing, so make sure you have your snacks ready. Make sure you know where the bathrooms are. And guess what? Instead of me telling you about mimosas and Bloody Marys, I have a new drink. So caramel apple cider. If you have that handy, go ahead and drink it. If not, how about a shot into your espresso? I'm only kidding. We'll be back in just one moment. Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for attending our Hot Sheet Live this morning. And where is the money? The conversation, you always follow the money. How the veteran business community can find opportunities during this pandemic. My name is Sharon Pender. I'm the president and CEO of the Capital Region Minority Supply Development Council. We are very happy that you're with us today. We have an exciting hour, and we're even giving something away. So you got to stay around, be present to win. If you want to get some Southwest tickets, you want to go home for Thanksgiving. And we have some Southwest tickets to give away this morning as well. And so we want to get this conversation going. I'd like to, at this particular time, tell you kind of what you're going to get into this morning, and to let you know who you're dealing with. Our panel of experts, which is second to none. And I want to ask if Tommy Marks would join me on screen. Tommy is our director of our Federal Procurement Center. And before we get started, I'd really like for you to understand the power of this particular organization, and it's led by, I think I have some bias in this, a very powerful young man, and that's Tommy Marks. And so, Tommy, if you could just talk a little bit about the Federal Procurement Center. You're going to have to unmute yourself, Tommy.
Thank you much. Just running right out the chute, ready to go this morning.
Absolutely.
So good morning to all. So the Federal Procurement Center is one of 37 business centers that the Department of Commerce federally funds, but we're the only one that is exclusively dedicated to working in the federal space, working with companies that are interested in federal procurements. We come to the table to assist companies to obtain federal contracts, understanding those critical vehicles that they have, and navigating the federal agencies, which are 20 plus. And what I often tell people, if you just multiply about, on the average, 8 divisions in those organizations, you got about 160 buy-in organizations with them. And so, we also work to get you with those federal decision makers. The key is understanding the federal process, and that's what we're here to do. And we do that on a daily basis.
You know, Tommy, tomorrow is a very important day, and I tell people that we need to do it 365, but especially on tomorrow to thank our veterans for their service. I'll start with you. So, as a veteran of the U.S. Army, retired military, I'd like to thank you for your service and to thank you for your extension of your service as you help people master, navigate through federal agencies. And so, along with just your distinguished military career, you also are retired from that and retired as the director of the Army Small Business Program. And so, we're really pleased that you are directing the mission of the federal procurement. So, thank you very, very much. At this time, what I'd like to be able to do is to bring on our guest for today and talk about our agenda. And so if we can have Mr. Stubblefield, Ms. Bankston Carter, and Ms. Ashe come on, that would be great. Because when you look at the agenda, Tommy is going to work his magic, and he's having, you know, we call this a fireside chat. So he's going to have a conversation with these important folks, and you'll get to understand at the end of the day why I'm so impressed out of my mind with the folks and what they bring to this conversation today. But let me just tell you a little bit about each of them. I'd like to start with Chanel Bankston Carter, who's the Director of Strategic Outreach and Communications for the Department of Veterans Affairs, Office of Small and Disadvantaged Business Utilization, where she is responsible for an outreach program which ensures that veteran-owned and other small businesses have requisite knowledge and access to programs and services to increase their participation in the federal marketplace and with commercial partners. Ms. Bankston Carter is responsible for the development of small businesses, informational tools, education training, resource management, and execution of network opportunities necessary to do business with Veterans Affairs. And so we thank you for your time and welcome you. The next person I'd like to talk about is Barbara Ashe. And Ms. Ashe is the president of the Montgomery County Chamber Community Foundation, MCCCF. We always have our acronyms, right? And serves as the national director of the Veterans Institute of Procurement. And you're going to hear a bit about that today. She's also the executive vice president at the Montgomery County Chamber of Commerce, and that's MCCC. Well, welcome, Barbara. She is, as president of the foundation, she launched the Veteran Institute of Procurement, which is VIP, in 2009, and oversees strategic development of the program, manages a dedicated team of professionals in executing the program that now trains 300 veteran-owned small businesses a year nationwide on how to accelerate their success in the federal marketplace. Ms. Ashe also manages the foundation board. She attends and is often asked to speak at national conferences about the VIP program. And the U.S. Small Business honored Ms. Ashe with the Veteran Small Business Advocate of the Year in 2011. And the National Veteran-Owned Business Association honored her in 2017 with the Veterans Business Advocate of the Year award. So thank you, Mrs. Ashe. We are very pleased you're here today. All of you are here. We're based in Montgomery County, so we're Montgomery County proud. The other person I'd like to share with you is Mr. Larry Stubblefield. He is Associate Administrator for the Office of Veteran Business Development, which is OVBD, at the U.S. Small Business Administration. In this role, Mr. Stubblefield oversees the OVBD team in formulating, implementing, administering, and promoting policies and programs that equips veterans, service members, active duty, National Guard Reserve, and military spouse-owned small businesses with counseling and education access to capital and contracting opportunities. He joined SBA in 2016, serving as the Assistant Administrator for the Office of Diversity, Inclusion, and Civil Rights, and most recently as the Acting Associate Administrator for OVBD. And prior to SBA, he's held numerous leadership positions with the U.S. Army, et cetera. So if you take away nothing else from this conversation, we have some powerhouses that's imparting their knowledge. And so we thank you for walking in your gifts and talents, and thank you for being here today. And with that, I believe I exit. Tommy, it's on you.
Thank you very much, Sharon. So as we get started, I'll ask Ms. Bankston Carter and Ms. Ashe, they will be back, and Mr. Stubblefield and I will light this fire. And we start with initially, there's a trend about veterans, Larry, that most folks in our arena knows that veterans all have the skills to be successful business owners. In fact, and that's based on their training in the military, the statistics show that they bring to the table things like teamwork, leadership and management skills, work ethic, self-discipline, perseverance, and ability to get the job done. So just as we get ready to get started, we're going to have an initial poll question, and then we'll dive into what the SBA does with our veterans. So we'd like you all to provide us some feedback on this poll question. And once you're done, we will be able to show you the response. Okay, we see we got 62% of attendees are service-disabled veterans, and we have 15% that are veteran-owned small businesses and 24% non-veteran-owned businesses. So Larry, as we get started, just a few notes that the SBA's Office of Advocacy shared with us, and that there are 2.5 million veteran majority-owned businesses in the United States, which 99.9% of those veteran businesses are classified as small businesses, which is what we do in our life, right? And what they generate is about $1.4 trillion annually, and an annual payroll of $195 billion, and represent 9.15% of all U.S. businesses. So what we'd like you to do is talk to us about what your agency does is in support of veterans and helping them with their businesses.
Okay, first of all, Tommy, let me just say thanks for having me on and giving me the opportunity to talk about OVBD a little bit. At OVBD, we empower transitioning service members, veterans, military spouses, reservists, and National Guardsmen with the tools needed to either start, grow, or expand their businesses. And in the case of a declared national disaster or natural disaster, we help them recover their businesses as well. So we do this by, providing counseling, business training. We work with the small business community in terms of access to capital and helping them with government contracting opportunities.
Okay. So Larry, leading with that, how might the veteran businesses best prepare themselves to connect with the greater whole of the decision makers with procurements in the federal government?
Tommy, I'm glad you asked that question. There are a lot of resources available for small business owners who are interested in contracting. I will tell you that in OVBD, our Veterans Business Outreach Centers are a place that I would recommend your listeners go to. But I'll also tell you that, I have a list here of other other sources, if you will. The SBA Procurement Center representatives, PCRs, are a good way to connect with federal agencies, small business teams, as well as events, where in those events, I'm talking about matchmaking type of events, industry days, and so forth. And now that we're in a virtual environment, it's even more convenient now for small business owners to participate in those type of events. There's different organizations, that I could also mention here, say, for example, the National Veteran Business Development Council. They're specialized in helping you connect with the corporate supply chain resources and certification. There's the National Veteran-Owned Business Association, another one. that also works with the corporate supply chain, and with the resources and certification. And you're going to hear about VIP here as one of our panelists, Barbara Ashe, great partner and great friend of SBA. And I'll tell you a little bit about VIP. I'm not trying to steal Barbara's thunder, but at SBA, we're very proud of our relationship with VIP. VIP has been an SBA partner since 2014. And over the years, we've had the opportunity to see firsthand the impact that VIP has had. When VIP was first launched in 2009, we were nowhere near that 3% goal for service disabled veteran-owned small business. In fact, we were under 1%. And now, fast forward to today, that number has increased to 4.39%, and for the last 7 consecutive years, we have exceeded that goal, and we owe a debt of gratitude, if you will, to Barbara and the VIP program. So that's another source that your audience should probably check out. And like I said, you're going to hear more about VIP coming up.
Okay, so Larry, one last question, and this is for somebody I think that is actually getting ready to start. What's the best advice for our veterans and business owners as they seek to start, build, and grow their companies, based on from where you sit as associate administrator?
I can tell you, Tommy, and I'm glad you asked that question. A lot of times, like, you mentioned earlier some of the characteristics of, serving in uniform. And one of the characteristics, if you will, is, we can accomplish this mission. We can go at it alone and get things done. And what I would like your audience to know is, entrepreneurship is a team sport. It's just like being in uniform. There's teammates out here for you to meet and work with. And so if you look at what we offer at SBA, we talk about our extensive resource partners. We're in 1,200 different locations around the country. We're talking about 14,000 business counselors and mentors. And so I'm talking about our veteran business outreach centers, our small business development centers, the women business centers, our SCORE chapters. This group is poised, to help the small business community at every step of their entrepreneurial journey, from, startup, like I said earlier, starting a business, growing, expanding your business, all the way down to even helping you close the business if you need to close your business. And now during the pandemic, at SBA, our administrator has made it perfectly clear. Her sole focus for our agency is helping the small business community, get through this pandemic. And we look at it in 4 different areas. We talk about response, recovery, helping the small business community become more resilient, and in some cases, helping business owners reinvent themselves. So my recommendation would be to come to SBA. We're here for you every step of your entrepreneurial journey.
Okay, Larry, really appreciate that. Here's some other notes some tidbits I'd like to share before we get into the questions and answers. In fact, the top 5 states for veteran-owned businesses, California, Texas, Florida, New York, and Pennsylvania. What's more impressive is that there are a few industries that our veterans focus on, and close to 30% of all those businesses are in 2 industries. And one might guess construction and the professional services, the professional, scientific, and technical services. And the biggest share of that sector goes to finance and insurance, where our veterans play a key role. 57% are home-based businesses, which tells us, one deep, if you will, but contributing to that $1 trillion worth of revenue, as we know. And then about 54% employ up to 4 people. And then another 9%, 20 or more, and about 3% of our veterans have 50 or more folks in their company, which contributes immensely to, our economy. So at this point, what I'd like to ask Ms. Claudia Barrera to let us know what questions we might have that you can help us answer, Larry. Claudia?
You know, Tommy, while we wait on the questions, I wanted to just throw out one other source, if you will. You know, I should have probably mentioned the PTACs too, because the
Yes.
Procurement Technical Assistance Centers, I mean, now you're talking about, you know, training, one-on-one counseling, helping you prepare for government contracting. I would certainly be remiss if I did not mention the PTACs as well.
Understood. No, absolutely. In fact, we know that's an organization mandated by Congress through the Department of Defense in order to help all small businesses. And you should definitely take advantage of that because those are free services. You know, there's when you come to the table, there's no charge to the businesses unless there's some minor things that the PTAC doesn't offer. So definitely take advantage of that. So I think we're having some technical questions with my behind the scenes question person.
Yes,
Sonia,
Tommy. Yes, I do. Tommy, while Claudia is making some adjustments, there is a question regarding whether the SBA has a role in encouraging agencies to support SDVO SBs.
Yes, we have an office of government contracting and business development, and they oversee the annual scorecard that, you know, every federal agency, you know, gets a mark, if you will, on where they stand. And that scorecard, you know, in addition to being shared across the federal government, is also shared with Congress and the administration.
Okay. So Larry, look, we want to thank you very much for your time, and I'd ask you to stand by. We're going to bring you back at the end, and where we do some open questions. But the good news is that there are a number of resources and places that veterans can go to find help, and so please take advantage of it. As Mr. Stubblefield leaves us, I'd like to bring on Ms. Chanel Bankston Carter from the Department of Veterans Affairs. Good morning, Ms. Carter. Ms.
Good
Bankston.
morning, Tommy. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. And just before we're going to have a poll question come up before we continue that fire.
Okay.
So please, the poll question. So audience, you can see there, we'd like some feedback from you on this one. And please check all that apply. In a few moments, we're going to have the results. And there we go. About 15% of the folks are 8A, 21% woman-owned businesses, and 21% hub zone, and 88% of the participants today are services-able veterans. Thank you very much for participating in our poll. As we go to our next special guest, what I'd like to just share a couple of tidbits. We know the Department of Veterans Affairs, obviously by the name, who they cater to, and there are about 27 million veterans, as we know of today, that have unselfishly served our country, that the department is responsible for. And you know, the department acquires a number of products, goods, and services. And Ms. Banks Carter will talk about that. But for the audience out there, you know, they've got major hospital clinics. They've got a great veteran integration service network, data processing centers, national cemeteries, all of which need goods and services. So we want to be on our toes so we can help them out. So Ms. Carter, Ms. Banks Carter, excuse me, as we get into this, tell us a little bit about what the VA does in support of veteran businesses.
Okay, Tommy, thanks first of all for inviting me here this morning. I'm so proud to be a part of this opportunity to provide information to our service disabled and veteran-owned small businesses. To tell you a little about the Department of Veteran Affairs, what I would like to just tell you first of all is that you're correct. In regards to our health care, we have 9.3 million veterans that are enrolled. When you look at disability compensation benefits, we provide that currently for over 5.7 million veterans and their survivors. We have life insurance for nearly 5.8 million veterans, service members, and their families. We have pension benefits for over 392,000 veterans and their survivors. We have educational assistance for nearly 950,000 trainees. We have an internment of approximately 137,000 veterans and eligible family members in our national cemeteries. In regard, even more than that, we've strengthened our VA infrastructure through $1.4 billion in major construction and $400 billion in minor constructions for priority infrastructure projects. Why am I giving you these numbers or telling you what VA has? Is because in everything that I've said, there's an opportunity for procurements. If you look at healthcare, disability, pension, construction, etc., that's where the money is. So when you look at the Department of Veteran Affairs and you say, how do we help veterans? We truly are connected with what President Lincoln said, to care for him who has bore the battle and for his widow and his orphan. And we do that by providing those economic opportunities. And those are the places. Every place that I just spoke of, there is an opportunity for procurement. So we ensure that we place the needs of our veteran. That's why we have the Vet First program for economic opportunities to our veterans.
Thank you very much for that response. So what are the programs that you and tools that you could share with us in the audience that helps the veterans in the federal marketplace?
Let me just start right now and just look at OSTABU from our perspective. We're advocates for the veteran-owned small business community. Some of the things that we help to start off with is a great tip that we say to our service disabled and veterans is to stay verified. But first, get verified. The verification program, the Vet First program, we're the only federal agency that has a hierarchy from our service disabled, veteran-owned, small disadvantaged, women hub zone, etc. We also have a direct access program because what we've done, Tommy, is we've looked, and everyone knows that the Department of Veteran Affairs, we have the National Veteran Small Business Engagement. But unfortunately, this year, due to the pandemic, we were unable to have that event. But what we also did is we listened to the veteran business community and we heard them say, we need to connect with procurement decision makers. We need to connect with people that can help afford us these economic opportunities, not just once a year. So as a result of our direct access program, we are currently now engaging with everyone from our other federal agencies. Within the Department of Veteran Affairs, we do virtual business engagement events. That's where we bring our procurement decision makers in to meet with veteran businesses to find out what type of opportunities are out there, to answer any questions that they may have. We also are working very closely with our commercial partners, from our Deloitte to our General Dynamics to Lockheed, you name. We are working with Amazon, etc. We're working with them because we want our veterans to have a diverse portfolio, and they understand the value of having service disabled and veterans. So we do business engagements with them. They bring in their business, their suppliers, their group to say, here's what we're looking for. Are you selling what we're buying? And so we have those type of opportunities. We also work with our other federal agencies. We're constantly engaging with them with BEC events to business engagement events to talk about the type of procurements. And then there's that other piece that I love to talk about is education and training. because it doesn't matter if you have the best business in the world. If you're not able to get into the right relevant people, and if you can't speak that language, if you can't talk to them about how to mitigate risk to both themselves as well as to the buyer, if you can't talk about how to have access to the opportunities, are you right on the right procurement mechanism? Do you have good past performance? So at Ostabu, we have an education and training program, but that's strictly what we focus on. We help them after they're verified to go to that next step. We also work constantly within VA, because some of you may know we just released, I've been working very diligently with IT, the electronic health records, as that moves forward. So there are a lot of opportunities that are available across our business lines, and our procurement decision makers, they're not waiting just because we're virtual to hold on to those opportunities. They're reaching out to us. In addition, we're reaching out to the veteran-owned small business community. But for us, we're vet first, not vet only, but please get verified.
Thank you very much for that. So we're going to move to the Q&A session. If Ms. Claudia Barrera come up.
Yes, hi there. We have a question. Is the VA using GSA best-in-class vehicles in addition to their VA-specific vehicles?
Yes, they are, but that is on a case-by-case basis. So in order to get more additional information, and I can give you more to that, and what are those exceptions, what are those rules, please contact me at www.va.gov/OSDBU, OSDBU, and you will see a place, and contact Chanel Bankston Carter, and I can provide you with additional information.
Okay, great. And so the audience knows, we will have all that contact information at the end of this so that you can contact Ms. Bankston Carter. Okay. So, Ms. Bankston
Tommy,
Carter.
if I may also tell you, please have the small businesses, please look out for upcoming opportunities. We have some really major upcoming opportunities in our medical supplies, in our construction, and our IT products and services. Those are some big things that are coming up in 2021. And in regards with SBA, we're constantly, I know Mr. Stubblefield just spoke to you, but we actually worked with them April, May of this year, looking at the disaster relief. He also had his people to work, look at how to do the loans, etc. So there's a lot of collaboration that's going on with a lot of your federal agencies, because we really want to make sure we provide opportunity to our service disabled and veteran-owned small business.
Appreciate it. So let me ask this question just before you go, while it's on the tip of my brain. So we know we can go to beta.sam.gov to find and search opportunities. Is there a forecast link on your website associated with the Ostabu about upcoming requirements?
Yes, there is. If you would go to our website, we actually have a link, and it's called Forecasting Opportunities. And what it will do, it will break it down to you by geographical regions. It will break it down to you by products and services. It will break it down by service disabled, veteran-owned, women hub zone, whatever platform or whatever vehicle it's on. So yes, we do have that on our website.
Greatly appreciate that. And we're going to bring you back at the end. We have one more outstanding colleague to bring on, and then we're all going to come back at the end. I'd ask you to stand by. Thank you very much for the information. And if Ms. Barbara Ashe, as Ms. Bankston Carter departs, will come on, we will continue the fire. So Barbara, welcome. Before I let you throw some more fuel on this fire, you know, I just like to, we're going to do a poll question, and then I got a couple little tidbits, not to steal your thunder either. Okay, poll question, please. So do you currently have federal contracts? Please check all that apply. We'll give you a moment on that. Then our standing production crew will show us the responses. We go, 29% are at the VA, 31% at DOD, and 48% at other federal agencies. So we know there are opportunities out there. We just got to keep knocking on those doors. If you haven't got one, don't give up. Okay, so we will go and continue this fire. So, we introduced Miss Ashe. What I want to say before she starts talking is that, what she does for the veterans costs you a whole lot of money. It costs $0 for what she's going to share with you. And it's solely focused on our veteran-owned companies, C-suite executives. So, Barbara, if you will you talk to us a little bit about this great program that you developed and has brought to bear across the United States?
Well, thank you so much, Tommy, for that wonderful introduction, and thank you for the opportunity to be here and share a little bit about VIP, Veteran Institute for Procurement. You're absolutely right. It's 100% free to veterans nationwide, and it's a training program solely focused on helping service-disabled and veteran-owned small businesses accelerate their success in the federal market. We are laser focused on that opportunity to make sure that they know how to compete, comply, and perform in the federal market. And as you can see here in the slide, we do that across 4 different curriculums now. With the support of partners like SBA and Lockheed Martin Corporation, we've been able to expand what we're able to offer to veterans. So if you're just starting out and wanting to enter the federal market, VIP Start is where you would begin that journey. And if you're already a government contractor and had some success either as a sub or a prime, but you now want to expand your success, then VIP Grow is a great way to do that. And then there's VIP International. So as you know, you have participated often at VIP in your former role at Army, and the federal government's global. And oftentimes your customer will ask you, they love working with you, and now they have a requirement, CONUS overseas. And what just changed in your life? Well, just about everything. So VIP International is all about helping you enter and scale in the federal market as well as the commercial market, because oftentimes once you get over there, you have to locally source. And now you're not doing business with the Army, and in English or US dollars perhaps. And our newest curriculum will launch in April 2021, and that is VIP Aerospace. And that's for companies that are looking to enter and expand in the growing aerospace market. So all of these programs are all about helping veteran-owned and service-disabled veteran-owned businesses learn how to compete, comply, and perform. And what Chanel mentioned is absolutely what we have focused on from day one, is mitigating risk and using best business practices so that we first mitigate the risk to yourself, because we all know mistakes in business are expensive and oftentimes fatal for small business. And then, of course, mitigating the risk to your teaming partner and to your customer. And that's what we focus on. So, and, I guess I would go to the next slide and just share, I guess the big question is, does it work? Sounds great, but,
Tell us about that. Tell us about that. That's right.
Sounds too good to be true. Well, it's not. And we really measure our success. We always say this program only works when they win. It only works when you win. And we measure our success on the success of the graduates. And we are laser focused on their success and measuring that, year after year. And we're very proud that with just giving a little bit of information and giving our veterans the tools and information they need and the resources and the network and the relationships, they're able to soar in their entrepreneurial, desires. So, you can see there, on the slide, and start, they grow right away. And it's not surprising that the second year numbers are much, much larger than the first year, because it's a very long procurement cycle in the federal government. And so you start to see that momentum take fold in the second year. And we also are teaching companies how to be sustainable, which is so important right now, whether we're in the middle of a government shutdown, which we've had several times over the last 20 years, or a global pandemic, supply chain disruptions, we teach them how to be sustainable, and they continue to thrive. And they do all this by just adopting those best practices. So that's a little bit about what VIP does.
So Barbara, I'll tell you, I can't even ask you a question because you answered all my questions as you went through this. But I do have some other food for thought. And you may have mentioned this. It seems to be a competitive program to get into. What are the eligibility requirements if I want to get my business into your training program? Well,
it's not competitive at all. We do have a lot of demand, and the program is offered free, first come, first served. Okay. So it's on a first come, first served basis nationwide. And if you meet those requirements for whatever program you apply to, whether it's START, GROW, international, or aerospace, it's first come, first served. So
go ahead.
Yeah, so, but it's just, again, resource restrictive too. So how many,
Understood.
So this year we're going to train 350 companies, which is the most we would have trained since our founding. Last year we were only able to train 200. And so we train as many as we have resources for.
And that's across currently across the 3 programs, that total number?
That total number will be across all 4 programs, 350 across all 4 programs, because we're launching aerospace in April. And so in each cohort of classes, we have up to 50 participants. And all of our programs used to take place in person. You've been there many times at the Bolger Center, right? And just outside of DC. Well, since June, we moved all of our programming to virtual because of the global pandemic. I am pleased to say we're doing our 3rd training program right now virtually, and it's going exceedingly well. And we're very excited. And quite frankly, we're looking forward to getting back in the classroom in person, but there are some real benefits to being virtual.
Virtual, yes.
So there could be some hybrid models, I don't know, but right now everything is virtual, and we have graduates, almost 1,500 now, since 2009, and from all 50 states, DC, Puerto Rico, and Guam. And in each of our classes, so we have 2 classes going on now, and on average there's about 14, 19 different states participating.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Great.
So, and that's always been there. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll move to the Q&A session from the audience. So Claudia, if you'd come back on and let us know what questions we have pending.
Yes, hi, we have a question. Does VIP have any mentoring programs that can show new business owners the steps of procurement?
That's a great question. The whole curriculum, all of the training is designed to connect you to other business owners. Many of them are VIP graduates themselves that now pay it forward and give back as mentors during the training and then afterwards, as well as the instructors that give of their time and talent. So at any one class, we'll have upwards to 36 to 40 instructors from industry and government that you can reach back to for those opportunities for mentoring.
Okay. Well, Barbara, we want to thank you very much, because this is a great resource, folks. So if you're interested, definitely reach out. You will have all her contact information. I can tell you personally, having visited there at least twice, that the training is outstanding, and it is value added based on your strategy and where you're trying to take your company as a veteran-owned company, period. Okay.
Absolutely. This is just for veteran-owned businesses. And I did want to just add one little other data point.
Yes,
and you and I have talked about this, Tommy. 60% of our graduates, our participants, are minorities.
And in fact, Barbara and I are just prior to COVID started collaboration talks on how to both organizations could service our veteran population that we have here at the Minority Business Development Agency. And those talks are fruitful. COVID hadn't stopped anything. I mean, and what's interesting too is, the federal government never shut down during COVID, even though it shut down during other times. It is still working and churning, which means opportunities are there and are required. Okay.
Absolutely. And, listening to Larry and both Chanel, I mean, they really embodied the Marine motto, which is to, improvise, adapt, and overcome. Yes. And, how appropriate too on today's 245th anniversary of the Marine Corps. But you're right, government has never spent more money. And listening to Chanel, they're out there. They're looking for partners. They're looking for vendors. They have already adapted and are finding ways to connect to businesses that can help them solve real problems and to move their mission forward. So exactly absolutely, right. Absolutely.
So I'm going to ask our other two colleagues to come up back on the screen, and then we're going to go to open chat and some Q&A. Welcome back, Ms. Bankston Carter. And
thank you.
There's my Pentagon battle buddy. We used to be in that 5-sided building. That's Larry Stubblefield. So in the open chat, I'll start with Chanel. Here's a situation I ran into, a key question. So I'm a federal government employee, which want to start my business while I'm still fully employed. And I know that from experience, I mean, you can actually have a business. There's some rules though that you got to play by and walk a fine line. So if I'm a service disabled veteran, I'm trying to start my business while I'm still employed. What impact does that have on my verification?
Okay, good question, Tommy. I hear it all the time, and that's something I want to clear up. You're absolutely right. There are a lot of active duty service members that have businesses. You can be a business owner. There is nothing wrong with being a business owner. But here's the problem, is that if you want to go through our verification program at the Department of Veteran Affairs, it talks about ownership and control. Now, how can you show ownership and control if you are a federal employee and you're working full time? So if you're trying to go through our verification program and you are a full-time federal employee, you will not get approved by our verification program, because we want to make sure and ensure that there are no pass-throughs, that there is no opportunity for anyone to say that our verification program is not legit and that you as a business owner is not a legitimate business. So for verification purposes, we will not you won't get there.
Okay. Being a service disabled veteran myself, I understand that all these rules we got to play by, but definitely appreciate that response. So Claudia, do we have some questions in our chat box?
Not in the chat, but I see some others coming in, and
okay.
Some of them have been, in light of COVID and how most government offices are closed, how do you create and maintain relationships with agencies for new work? Since agencies kind of buy from people or companies that they trust and know.
Well, what we're trying to do, if I could answer that, as I was talking about with our direct access program at the Department of Veteran Affairs, we're actually engaging with other federal agencies in the commercial space. They're coming to us because they don't want to just deal with ones that they know and who they're comfortable with. If there is opportunity for procurement opportunities, they want the best and the brightest. They also want to be able to have a dialogue with them so that they can help prepare them. I understand these are difficult times, but we want to give them the best opportunity along with other federal agencies, the department, and the commercial space. So please go to our website. You're going to see also some information that I put out there, Tommy, that's on that slide deck that actually talks about a few of our direct access events that are coming up with other federal agencies and our commercial partners and the Department of Veteran Affairs.
Okay, will do.
And I'd just like to add that they're out there, absolutely, Chanel. Today at VIP, at our VIP International, we have 3 federal agencies and a large prime that are presenting. And to your point, they are looking for those that can help them solve serious problems. And the only way they can do that is they're out there looking for them. And so we have the Army and we have the Department of State and USAID as well as a large prime as part of that outreach. It is definitely going on. The work of government is never more important right now.
And I just wanted to add to that too, to just kind of reemphasize something I said earlier about our veteran business outreach centers, our PTACs and district offices. If you stay in touch with the VBOCs, the PTACs and our district offices, because they're well versed on what events are coming up. I was talking earlier about, matchmaking events, industry days and things of that nature. And like I said, again, everything's being done virtually now. So it's a little easier to be in contact.
Well, and I'll echo that because I have sat through in the last 3 months more trade shows and Zoom meetings and go to webinars and did the one-on-one matchmaking, go into my own private room. So it's out there. So, well, look, panel, I definitely want to thank you all for taking the time out of your busy schedules to work with us and assist us as we bring this most valuable information to our veteran community, along with non-veterans who I'm sure signed up for this, because it's still, as if I get the motto right, it's veterans first, but not veterans always at the VA. So, look, to the audience, I couldn't ask for a better panel, and I want to thank them again. And tomorrow being Veterans Day officially, we all will be off, supposedly, right, doing something in support of veterans. Okay. Again, thank you, and you can stand by. We're going to do next up is actually Miss my colleague Miss Sonia Bigelow Smith, who's got a no surprise giveaway.
Great, Tommy. Thank you so very much. And thanks to all of you, all of our esteemed panelists today. What a great conversation and celebration of those who serve. Continuing in that celebration this morning of our American heroes, I am pleased to be here to give away our round trip ticket courtesy of Southwest Airlines. The Southwest Airlines voucher can be used to fly to 101 destinations and 10 countries. Southwest is also committed to their Southwest promise to safely protect passengers when they fly, that you can learn more about on their website at southwest.com. And without further ado, please know that the winner has to be present this morning. When I call your name, you can unmute or type in the chat box that you are here to claim your prize. So for that, we are selecting number 11, the 11th attendee this morning. The name is Val Stevenson. Val, are you here?
I am here. Yes, I am.
Val didn't waste no time.
Center.
Congratulations.
Thank you, and thank you, God.
So we will make sure we capture your name and information and get back in touch with you to extend your Southwest Airlines voucher. We'd like to thank everyone for attending today, and I'll turn it back over to Tommy. Thank you.
So congratulations again, Val. So as my colleagues depart the screen, I will ask Ms. Sharon Pender, our President and CEO of the Capital Region Minority Supply Development Council and the official operator of the Minority Business Development Agency's Federal Procurement Center, and my sister center, the Minority Business Development Agency's District of Columbia Center, operated by one and only Dennis Smith. Ms. Pender. You're muted, ma'am. Check, you're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Well, hear you now. Please tell us that what you said again. I was reading the lips,
No,
but I didn't do the sign language.
I know what I thought I said. I can't remember. What I thought was I told you, ladies and gentlemen, that this was going to be an extremely important and pack-filled, impressive hour, and I did not lie. But I have to share something with you. That drink I told you all about at the beginning, that caramel apple cider, that came from Chanel Bankston Carter. And actually, she gets it at Starbucks, and Starbucks is one of our corporate members. But I just hit to share that with you because I know that you were dying to know what that is. But if you look on the screen that we have right now, those awesome folks that you talked to or heard from with the chat, and Tommy, very good chat, we have their contact information that's here. That's really, really, really important. And as Tommy has shared with you, you have all this information at your fingertips hanging off of the Federal Procurement Center site, along with our other 11 webinars. And so in case you missed any of them, we have them posted, as well as the materials that have come up off all of those webinars. You'll see, as is shared here, our topics that we did, like in cybersecurity, contact tracing, major industries adapting to recovery. You'll see all that information. But one of the things I forgot to do at the beginning of this conversation, my parents always told me that you always thank the ones that brought you to the dance. Before we leave, I have to thank our sponsors. Before we do that, on this vein, in terms of what you can find, we're now graduating from our newsletter, our pandemic newsletter, not graduating from, but extending our services from this consortium hot sheet, these webinars. We're going to continue to do those, but our next slide will show what we have in store for you. Is something we're calling Hot Chat, right? Our podcast that we'll be launching. The first person that we're talking to is Antonio Das, who is the district director for the Washington Metropolitan Area SBA, and we have some other folks in store as well. But that's going to be a podcast situation that's coming up. In addition to that, we have some other programs like our Mentor Protege program that we're launching. We call Lift as We Climb. What makes this uniquely different, it is minority businesses mentoring other minority businesses. And in council speak, our class 3s and 4s, and those are minority businesses with revenues over 10 million, over 50 million, will mentor our class 1s and 2s, and that's less than 10, less than $1 million to less than 10 million. And so if you want information about that, let me know. We're launching that, sponsored by BAE Systems and Wells Fargo. That's one that we're dealing with and that you want to know about. We're looking for both mentors and proteges. And then coming up, please, on December the 3rd, mark your calendars, our annual business meeting. And the so what big deal about that, we're going to talk about what happened in 2020. But the other thing that we're going to do is present some awards. We're going to do some virtual one-on-one matchmaking, and then there's the business of the board of directors, et cetera. But registration is going to be opening very soon, but we wanted to keep you informed of that. Mark your calendars, Thursday, December the 3rd. Then, again, I wanted to thank those who make it possible for us to do what we do. We are a business advocacy organization. In fact, the Washington Business Journal has named us 2 years in a row as one of the top business advocacy organizations in the Washington region, Washington, D.C. region. And we are able to do those things that we do for minority businesses and our corporate members because of our sponsors. These are some of our our top title sponsors that you see on the screen with us today. So we appreciate everything that you do. The next slide is, of course, it shows our title sponsor, Exelon, which is BGE and Pepco in this particular region. And then, of course, as we kind of close out today, we of course say thank you. And just as a reminder that we are here to service, our mission is to be that conduit or that facilitator and helping minority businesses find opportunities. We do that through the Capital Region Minority Supply Development Council, and we also do it through our consortium, which is an extension of our services through the Federal Procurement Center, headed up by Tommy Marks, and our MBDA, Minority Business Development Agency, Business Center, Washington, D.C., headed up by Dennis Smith. And I have a team that's second to none that if you visit our website, you'll get to see who comprises of the team. I'd like to thank the CARES Act team for putting this on today, along with the FPC, headed up by Sonia Smith, and includes as well Nicole Miles, who is the baddest graphics designer in the world, and Latoya Moore, as well as Claudia Brera and Jacob Brown and Kalada Madison. I'm giving you back 1 minute of your hour. It is now 10:29, and for that, we say goodbye and see you next time. Thank you.